So we had the test. The name of the test was given as Eye Opener. I strongly feel that whenever you are preparing for some national level test, you must be sufficiently alert. You should never ever try to see that where I have seen such problem previously, and you must be on your toes all the time and every time. So whether test is there or it is not there, you must be prepared. And that is how the things are. So let me explain the test by using whiteboard and presentation. So the test was designed only on the topics, vectors, as well as elementary things which are related with tools of mathematics. So let us start. What was given was A, B, C, and D are four corners of a quadrilateral, such that BC is 2 times AB, CD is 3 times AB, and DA is 4 times AB. Then the value of many a times we generally create a feeling that this is scalar triple product. Now 4 points are there. They are the corners of quadrilateral. Quadrilateral is a planar figure. So the answer we expect as 0 because the vectors will be coplanar. This assumption is perfectly correct if and only if the notations are different than whatever are over here. Please note, your argument will be correct if you are having AB cross BC dot CD. Doubtlessly, the answer will be 0. Because if A, B, C, D are representing quadrilateral, any damn quadrilateral, I'm nowhere related with how this quadrilateral looks like. But one thing is certain, that quadrilateral is a planar figure. And if it is a planar figure, then all these four vectors will lie in a plane. And that's why we are going to have the particular vectors won't be these four sides of it. Again, the small correction will be there. Vectors are going to be like this. This is A, this may be B, this may be C, and this may be D. So this is one of the vector. Then BC is another vector. And CD is another vector. I can also have AB, AC, and AD. These vectors are also coplanar. But what is done is a mischief over here. In given problem, the pattern is something like this. Now there is a problem because this is a dot product, means the answer will be a scalar. This is a vector. There is no cross product defined between scalar and vector, and that's why the answer will turn out as can't be said. So this is the way how the things are going to be. And please try to understand this carefully. Let us proceed further. This is another wonderful problem. Not because I have designed it, but yes, it is having its own beauty value. Many of the students have committed mistake over here. What is given is AB vector is of magnitude 2, CD vector is of magnitude 1, and the dot product of these two vectors is representing force is of magnitude this much. So what is given is 2 into 1 into cos theta is equal to root 17 by 2. Now, if temporarily instead of AB, I call this as A vector and this as B vector, you started thinking that then the resultant of these forces will be, well, the resultant will be obtained by the rule that it is under root of magnitude of AB its square plus magnitude of CD its square plus 2 times AB CD cos theta. Wonderful. Now the benefit is this, that this value is going to be just 4. CD square will be 1, 2 times, and this part is already provided to us, and it is nothing but root 17 by 2. This is the students what they thought. So this cancels and the final result will turn out as root 5 plus root 17. And this is available at A choice. Many of you are having A choice as the correct answer. But all this is total meaningless. This is okay, whatever you have written. This is also okay. Sir, then if everything is okay, why not the answer is like this? The problem is very elementary. We are very intelligent and we forget the very simple things over there. This information tells us that cos theta is equal to root 17 by 4. Now this is impossible because root 17 is definitely bigger than 4 and cos theta can never be greater than 1. And that's why the correct option will turn out as none is possible because cos theta cannot be greater than 1. So this is the answer for this second question which was there in the list. Let me move towards the third one. There are infinite resistances of 3 ohm. Parallel combinations are made by using 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and so on. Using these resistances, and then all of these parallel combinations are connected in series with resistance of 3 ohm, then the net resistance of all such infinite combination will be how much? This is the question. For solving this question, you will have to remember a result from geometric progression. What it says is terms of the type AR square, AR cube, so on, are basically forming geometric progression. If I try to see the sum of all, then the sum of n terms turns out as A in bracket 1 minus r to the power n divided by 1 minus r. There is no need of different rules if r is greater than 1 and less than 1, because over there it has been said that r to the power n minus 1 divided by r minus 1, meaningless, you are just taking minus sign common. But interesting is this, that whenever n tends to infinity, at that time S infinity will be equal to A upon 1 minus r. This is subjected to the condition that modulus of r is less than 1. Because as this n becomes infinity, r, if it is less than 1, then this value tends to 0. And that is how we get this result. Now, this result will be used for solving this problem. Please take some little amount of time to note this result, which you are supposed to remember when you are having tools of mathematics with you. So now I'm going to rub this result, and now let us look at the problem. Problem says that I'm having a resistance of 3 ohm, infinite resistances of 3 ohm. Then I create parallel combinations. So if I'm having parallel combination of 3 ohm resistances, then obviously this parallel combination will have its value as 3 by 2. Array 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3, 2 by 3, and it's reciprocal. So 3 by 2. If I'm having 4 such, then it will be 3 by 4. If I'm having 8 such, it will be 3 by 8, and this will continue. And now what I'm having is, as it has been said, that all these parallel combinations are connected in series with the resistance of 3 ohm. So now here I'm having 3 ohm resistance connected to a parallel combination of 2, connected to parallel combination of 4, connected to parallel combination of 8, connected to parallel combination of 16, and this continues up to infinity. Now, because these are in series, what I'm supposed to do is 3 plus 3 by 2, 3 by 4, 3 by 8, 3 by 16, and then I realize that this is actually a GP where the common ratio, that is value of R, is nothing but 1 by 2. As you can see very clearly, 1 by 2 square, 1 by 2 cube. Therefore, Sn over here will be equal to A upon 1 minus R. So it turns out to be 3 upon 1 by 2, means it becomes 6. And that is what is the answer over here. So this is how it is. So a very elementary information in mathematics by name geometric progression will be useful for solving the problems of physics. So special suggestion for the students preparing for medical: don't hate maths. Maths is, you can treat it as a wonderful servant who is useful for solving the problems of physics. Okay, anyway, we will proceed further with your permission. If the linear momentum is given by 4t plus 8 in SI units, then the force acting on a body of mass 2 kg is. I'm sorry, the answer is shown over there. Actually, there should be animation and it should come afterwards, but there is no secrecy over here. So I can continue with the same things over here. So I just need to remember that the force, according to Newton's second law of motion, is rate of change of linear momentum. P is the symbol for linear momentum, and linear momentum is mass into velocity. It's a vector quantity. So I certainly can have this also. Now it has been given by the expression 4t plus 8. That's why the F will turn out as d dt of 4t plus 8, and it turns out to be 4. Because it is in SI units, obviously it will turn out to be in SI units, so 4 Newton. Acting on a body of mass 2 kg, sir, what for this mass is given? Just to divert your concentration. It has nothing to do with the information which is provided, and this information is total useless information. If you are asked, find out the acceleration of the body, then it will turn out to be 2 meters per second square. So this is the way how you can get the answer for this problem. Many of you have done this correctly. I'm sure about it, but let us proceed further. Now, displacement of the motion is related with the time given by the relation this. Speed after 3 seconds will be, again, a very simple, straightforward type of problem. Nothing special about it. I certainly know that speed is dx by dt. After 3 seconds means at third second. So it will be d dt of 24t minus 3t square. So if I try to solve this, it will be 24 minus 6 times t. T is 3. That's why it is 24 minus 18. And that gives me 6. So the speed is always going to be 6. Now the question comes, should it be minus or should it be plus? It is obvious that the acceleration will be negative. So the velocity will be in opposite direction of the displacement. It will keep on reducing. But it has nothing to do because I am not asking velocity, I am asking speed over there. So it will be always plus. There are some few students who are always having a lack of confidence about their thinking process. वो 6 होगा कि -6 होगा, velocity तो opposite direction में यानी -6 होगा वो, and they hit the C choice. By this they are losing 5 marks. Sir, one mark is only punishment, sir. अरे बट जो मिलने वाले थे वो 4 भी गए और जो 1 था वो भी गए, यानी 5 मार्क आपके कम हो गए, इसको भूलो मत. And by that you will be down by nearly about 20,000 positions. So don't take anything lightly. That doesn't mean that continuously you must be under threat, but you must be always alert. That is definitely true. This is very common problem for competitive exam and very common mistake is there. If the displacement is indicated by this, then the distance covered in the time during which speed becomes 0. So it is quite obvious that the answer is 8, but let me explain why it is 8. Given information is x of t is t square by 2 minus 4 times t plus 30. If I differentiate to get the value of speed, I get dx by dt to be equal to 2 times t by 2 minus 4, and this becomes 0. So the final answer is t minus 4. That means speed will be 0. At t equal to 4. Now what I do is this, that I substitute t equal to 4 in this equation. And what I get is t square by 2 means it will turn out as 16 by 2 minus 4 times 4, that is 16, plus 30. The answer turns out to be 8 minus 16. That means it is minus 8 plus 30. So the answer is 22. Sir, आपका आंसर गलत हुआ है, वो C choice चाहिए. So this is the common mistake which I am saying. This 22 is the position when time is 4 seconds. What is the position when time is 0 seconds? Achha, so I will have to substitute that. So x of 0, when initially the position of the particle was 30. That indicates that the motion of the particle is in reverse direction. Earlier the particle was at 30. It started moving speed became 0 at this point after 4 seconds. At that time, it is at 22. So how much is the distance covered? And the answer turns out to be 8. और हरदम ख्याल में रखो यार, घर आने के बाद में हम जब सोचते हैं और हमको मिलता है कि नहीं नहीं वो 8 ही होना था, हम खुद को तसल्ली देते हैं कि वैसा तो मैं होशियार हूं, मेरे को 8 आ रहा था, खाली वो टाइम पर नहीं सूझा। ये खुद की गलती ना मानने वाले आखिरी में भी वैसा ही गलती करते हैं। So let there be one analysis book of yours where you are noting down the mistakes, the reason of mistake. Let me hope everybody has understood this. If anything is not clear, communicate with me. That is the only thing which I can say. And I'm repeatedly saying this, that try to increase the communication. Without that, nothing is possible. Go through the textbook. None of the material, none of the MCQ book is sufficient. You will have to have your concept clear, and then only you can attack the problem. Fine. So let us proceed to the next problem. Well, if the displacement is given by t minus 2 whole cube, then what is going to happen for velocity? So very typical thing, application in derivatives, which ask you to find out when it is increasing and when it is decreasing. So please try to recall that if y is equal to f of x is the given function, then find out dy by dx. If this turns out to be positive, then y is continuously increasing. If it is strictly less than 0, then y is strictly decreasing. And if it is greater than or equal to 0, then it is increasing or it may be constant. So this is the information which you are supposed to have with you. Using this information, I will proceed further. The given information is about x of t. It says it is t minus 2 whole square cube. In every case, what is asked is the velocity. So obviously, I will have to reach up to velocity. Velocity is equal to dx by dt. This is nothing but 3 times t minus 2 whole square. But my friends, don't forget that if I want to find the nature of velocity, I will have to find out dv by dt. V is not sufficient for me. So the value of dv by dt will turn out as 6 times t minus 2. And now there is a clear clue that if t is less than 2, then obviously this value will be negative. 6 is always positive. Because t is less than 2, it will be negative. The product of positive and negative is negative. So during start up to 2, velocity will have derivative negative, means it is decreasing. Once the 2 is crossed, then this is positive, this also is positive, and under this situation, the velocity will keep on increasing. So this is how the answer comes. You will have to note the particular impact. Don't get satisfied with velocity, because if you substitute the values over here, you are going to get some wrong result, because this is going to tell you about the distance, not about the velocity. So we may keep a feeling that if this is velocity, it will keep on increasing. No, it is not going to be like that. Okay. So bubble is increasing in its volume in such a way that the numerical rate of volume is same as that of the radius. In such case, whether such case is possible, and if it is possible, if the radius of the sphere is having some condition, or it is never possible and so on, it is independent of the radius, these are the options. This is typical rate problem. We definitely have the volume of a bubble is given by 4 by 3 pi r cube. Let me differentiate both the sides with respect to t. So I will get rate of change of volume, that is dV by dt, is equal to 4 is a constant, 3 is a constant, pi is a constant. Now let me differentiate r cube with respect to t. By using chain rule, it will be 3r square dr by dt. Now the problem says that the numerically rate of the volume is same as rate of radius. So dV by dt is numerically same as dr by dt. What is the need of saying numerically over there? Because volume will have meter cube per second, whereas radius will have meter per second. So numerical must be said over there. Without that, the term turns out to be meaningless. Now, because they are equal, obviously they both can be cancelled. This 3 cancels, and I'm left with 1 is equal to 4 pi r square. That obviously will tell me that r square is equal to 1 upon 4 pi, and because of this, r must be equal to 1 upon 2 root pi, and this value is obviously available over here. So this is how this particular problem is to be dealt with. This is again related with very basic concept of mathematics. Choose the correct one. Force, displacement, and work done may have any value for same magnitude. They may have any value for same magnitude, then the magnitude must be more than 1. Magnitude must be less than 1. And it must be equal to 1. These are the 4 options. I certainly know the work done is force dot displacement. So if I expand, it will turn out as F into X into cos theta. What is told to me is this, that they are having same magnitude. Let me say that the magnitude of work is equal to magnitude of force is equal to magnitude of displacement. Let me assume it to be equal to something, say lambda. It has nothing to do with the wavelength. Now, if I substitute the value, I will have lambda is equal to lambda into lambda cos theta. I certainly can get 1 is equal to lambda into cos theta. And now comes the trap. Cos theta is always less than 1 or at the most equal to 1. Under this condition, negative I don't need to worry about. So if cos theta is less than or equal to 1, it is obvious that lambda must be greater than or equal to 1 so that the product will be 1. So the value must be greater than 1 or at the most equal, and that is how the correct option over here is B, and B is telling that it is more than 1. It can also be equal to 1. But conditionally, therefore, the word must has been introduced over here to rule out the possibility that it is not going to be the answer. Displacement must be 1. Now, is it really necessary that it must be 1? No. And that's why the correct answer will be it is allowed even if it is more than 1. And that is how the correct choice will turn out to be B choice. Give respect to this. Try to understand how the question can be designed on very elementary information which we already have. This is again a straightforward type of thing. Many of you have done it correctly. But this is one of the example that how I can remain in neat paper setting where the multiple choices are not allowed as in IIT. But I can design a question which is of the equal difficulty level of multiple choice. Please note. Over here, this is 1. This is not the option. Information number 1 is acceleration is 4 times the magnitude of displacement at all instant. Velocity is always positive. Magnitude of velocity is less than double the magnitude of displacement. Velocity is always increasing. These are the 4 informations and these are the options. So how fantastically I have included the multiple choice over here. Now let us see the answer. Answer is more interesting over here. Given information is x of t is e to the power minus 2t plus e to the power 2t. By differentiating, I will get the instantaneous velocity. It is minus 2 e to the power minus 2t plus 2 e to the power 2t. I can write this particular for easiness. It is 2 times e to the power 2t minus e to the power minus 2t. And by this, I can also get the acceleration at any instant. It will be equal to 2, I will keep as a constant. E to the power 2t, its derivative is 2 e to the power 2t minus 2, just for the understanding purpose. At the time of exam, you are not supposed to write it so systematically. So the answer turns out as 2 times 2 e to the power 2t plus e to the power minus 2t 2 times. And that's why the final thing is 4 times e to the power 2t plus e to the power minus 2t. But if I look at it, I realize that it is nothing but 4 times x of t. So I realize that the option number 1 is certainly correct. Now I want to verify whether the velocity is always positive. I look at the particular expression for velocity. I look at this particular expression and I realize that velocity will be equal to 2 times, please note, e to the power 2t minus 1 upon e to the power 2t. Whatsoever is the value of t, this particular value will be always less than this. And that's why the velocity will be all the time and every time positive. Sir, t negative असला तर हा ते राहू नाही शकत ना बेटा. It's time. I certainly agree that if t is negative, then this will go at the denominator and this will be at the numerator. But such thing is not possible. That's why velocity is always positive is also correct. The magnitude of velocity is less than double the magnitude of the displacement. This is minus. If it would have been plus, then it is the double the magnitude of displacement, but it is not plus, it is minus, means it is slightly less than plus. अरे ये प्लस के बजाय माइनस है, यानी प्लस के टाइम जो रहता था उससे तो ये कम है. What I'm saying is e to the power 2t plus e to the power minus 2t is definitely greater than e to the power 2t minus e to the power 2t. And because of this relation, it is obvious that it is going to be less than, this is the value which is of velocity. So it is less than the magnitude of displacement, and there is a factor 2. So the magnitude of velocity is less than double the magnitude of displacement. This also is correct. And because acceleration is always positive for every value of t, because acceleration is positive means dv by dt is positive, therefore velocity is always increasing. And that is the reason why the answer is all are correct. I expect that all of you who are preparing for the exam after 2 years will definitely start going through the textbooks. The other textbooks are there, definitely yes, but my suggestion is 11th and 12th state board syllabus, a state board book. Doubtlessly, we need 11th and 12th NCERT. And then any damn book which is available in the market, which are doing lot much advertisements and all those things. It may be H.C. Verma, it may be Dinesh, it may be S. Chan, it may be Comprehensive, it may be Krishna publication, it may be Pearson publication, what not. These are necessary. Without this, you cannot survive. And have the habit of going through the wordings which are over there. By just preparing the formulas, you cannot survive in good competitive exam. And that is what I have tried to show. Let me hope that my efforts are sufficient over here. With this, I will stop the things. Expect that you will realize the gravity and you will improve yourself. For all subjects, this is necessary. Thank you.